Hello. So good to meet you at this daily motivational meeting. We're reading quotes from World Scripture book to inspire and empower with positive vibe for the day. As we're reading the book from the beginning, please find all the chapters tells message to billions channel. This book inspire billions of people, families, community, countries, and the whole world, and will help you to just read them and practice. Let's read further about Eschatology and Messianic hope. Tribulation. Most religions expect a time beyond the present when human history will be consummated by a decisive act of God. Evil will be destroyed and goodness will triumph. Millenarian teaching are most characteristic on Jewish, Christian, and Islamic scriptures. Christianity began as a millenarian movement in Israel, yet Hinduism, Buddhism, and Zoroastrianism also contain a teaching that the world is going through a cosmic cycle in which the decay of morals and religions presages a new golden age when life will be renewed and purified. Millenarian beliefs can be a living influence on society, encouraging oppressed people with the hope that the evil system has finally reached its last hour, and calling them to renewed faith or even to revolutionary action. From the Bar Kocha rebellion of Jews against Roman tyranny to the Taiping rebellion in China and the African independent churches agitation for independence against European colonial rule. These movements have fostered political and economical self-determination. Today, Father Moon's teaching expressed that same sense of urgency and possibility, proclaiming that humanity is now living in the last days and that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. However, these beliefs can also have a negative aspect if they lead people to become self-righteous and judgmental. Father Moon warns that all the judgment and tribulation of the last day will strike the people on God's side earlier and more severely than non-believers, based on the principle that in the course of restoration, it is God's people to be spectacles. Typically teaching about the last days of the end of the world anticipate a course of events in three phases. First, the time of tribulation when evil and confusion will prevail. Second, the last judgment when God intervenes, decisively destroy all evil. And third, the new age of unparalleled bliss, often called the kingdom of heaven. During the tribulation phase, wars, famines, plagues, natural disasters, and widespread confusion will affect humanity. Morals will decline as people became engrossed in hedonism and materialism. Religions will decline as the teachings of their founders will be forgotten or misused for mean ends. Father Moon affirms that humanity faces such tribulations and traces its root to the human fall. The last days, it is a time when the fruits of the fall are being harvested, he teaches. And some scriptures, the last tribulation will be the appearance of the beast, the Antichrist of the Dajjal, who will deny the reality of God and deceive millions with the counterfeit truth. Identifying the archaistic has been the subject of much speculation. Most of its truthfulness, most of its fruitless, often fixing on the church favorites of it. Father Moon sees the activity of Satan behind the dark forces in history and identifies several of the devil's threats to attack the people of God, including the rise of materialism and atheistic communism. Nevertheless, he is remind us that the first people to oppose Jesus were his own disciples. Hence, we should examine ourselves to see if we are not the Antichrist rather than blame others. Degeneration of faith and morals in the last days. And the evil age to come, the living beings will decrease in good qualities and increase in the utter arrogance, converting gain honors and developing their evil qualities and being far removed from deliverance. But understanding this, that in the last days there will come time of stress, for men will be lovers of self, lovers of money, proud, arrogant, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, inhuman, implacable, standards, profligate, fierce, heads of good, treacherous, recklessness, swallowed with consent, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, holding the form of religion but denying the power of it. The hour will not be established until religious knowledge will be taken away. Earthquake will be very frequent. Time will be passed quickly. Affliction will appear. Murders will increase, and money will overflow among you. The time is near in which nothing will remain of Islam but its name of and of its Quran, but its mere appearance, and the mosque of Muslims will be destitute of knowledge and worship, and the learned men will be the most worst people under the heaven, and contention and strife will use from them, and it will return from upon themselves. Rabbi Mikhail of Slotchov told the once when we were on a journey with our teacher Rabbi Israel Balshem of the light of the 7 days, he went into the woods to say the afternoon prayer. Suddenly we saw him strike his head against a tree and cry aloud. Later we asked him about it. He said, while I plunged into the Holy Spirit, I saw that in the generations which precede the coming of the Messiah, the rabbis of the Hasidim will multiply like locusts, and it will be they who delay redemption, for they will bring about the separation of hearts and groundless hatred. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on earth? With the footprints heralding the Messiah, presumption shall increase, and it reach its head. The vine shall yield its fruit, but the wine shall be costly, and the empire shall fall into heresy, and there shall be no one to utter reproof. The academies shall be given to fornication, and the wisdom of the scribes shall become insipid, and they that some sin shall be determined contemptible, and truth shall nowhere be found. Children shall shame the elders, and the elders shall rise up before the children. The face of this generation shall be raised as the face of a dog, and the son will be put to shame by his father. On whom can we stay ourselves? On our Father in heaven. Then properly a lamb will confer rank, wealth will be the only source of devotion. Passion will be the sole bond of union between the sexes. Falsehood will be only means of success in litigation, and women will be object merely of sensual gratification. Earth will be venerated, but for its mineral treasures. The Brahmanical thread will constitute a Brahmin. External type will be the only distinction of the several orders of life. Dishonesty will be the universal means of subsistence. Weakness will be the cause of dependence. Meanness and presumption will be substitute of learning. Thus, in the Kali age shall decay constantly proceed until the human race approach its annihilation. There will come a time, the age of the degeneration of the law, when immoral courses of action will flourish excessively. There will be no word for moral among humans, far less any moral agent. Among such human, homage and praise will be given to them who lack filial and religious piety and show no respect to the head of the clan, just as today homage and praise are given to the filial minded of the pious and to them who respect the heads of their clans. Among such humans, there will be no such thought of reverence as are a bar to intermarriage with the mother or mother sisters, of teachers, wives and fathers and sisters-in-law. The world will fall into promiscuity, like goats and sheep, fowls and swine, dogs and jackals. Among such humans, keep mutual enmity will become the rule. Keep ill will keep animosity passionate through even of a killing. In a mother toward her child, in a child toward its mother, in a father toward his child, and a child toward his father, and brother to brother, and brother to sister, and sister to brother, just as a sportsman feel toward game that he seeks, so will they feel. Further, let's see quotes from the second Messiah, Father, Son, and Moon. Today, we face a serious youth problem in the Garden of Eden. When Adam and Eve fell, they were teenagers. They planted the seed of free sex when they fell by engaging in an illicit sexual relationship in the shade. That is why now, during the harvest time of the last days, it was inevitable that the free sex would become rampant throughout the world. Satan knows that God is trying to bring all human beings to heaven by promoting the standard of a true love, absolute love without any trace of the fall. Because Satan knows that the returning Messiah will carry out this plan. His strategy is to utterly dismantle this standard. Therefore, as there is no longer any basis for love, people today engage in all sorts of behaviors, including free sex, homosexuality, and lesbianism. Homosexual and lesbians are seeds of the archangel. Therefore, like angels, they have no object partner of love. These are the last days when everywhere people are stripping off their clothes and perishing. It is the end of Satan's progeny. Now the earth has become hell, where life is stepped with Satan's world of hell. Therefore, if you seek and follow a way, a 180-degree opposite to prevailing lifestyle, it will be a path connected to heaven. Adam and Eve distrusted God and betrayed God. This sowed the seed of grief throughout the cosmos. Therefore, in the last days, parents and the children will be in conflict, just as the first human ancestors betrayed and distrusted God, their father. Their descendants in the last days will likewise experience children rebellion against their parents. That is why in today's society there is a pervasive tone of distrust between parents and children, between husband and wives, and between relatives. People no longer have confidence about their purpose for living so much. Have those who deny its basis obfuscated the matter. As you see this happening, you should not know that last days are there. At the fall, the archangel Lucifer acted to make Eve his enemy, and Eve acted to make Adam her enemy. As a result, Adam, Eve, and the archangel became enemies to one another. Therefore, in the last days, everyone will become enemies to one another. You children will become you enemies, and mothers and fathers became enemies, brothers and sisters will become enemies, nations will become enemies. All relationships will be torn apart, and you will not be able to trust anyone. What will become of ethics and morality? Such a hurricane of chaos will sweep the world that people will lose any sense of direction. People will not be able to tell right from wrong and good from evil. When that time comes, it is the last days. The last days are here right now. You will see incidents while children kill their parents and parents kill their children. You will see ministers killing members of their congregation and acrimonious battles between church members and their ministers. Everyone will be divided. Why is that? The seed of enemy sown by Adam and Eve and the archangel has resulted in the world becoming a battlefield. All religions have lost their footing because Christianity did not completely fulfill God's will. Buddhism, Christianity, and Islam are also going through a thought course. As a result, family, society, nation, and the world have become like hell. God's ideal realm of love is nowhere to be found on earth. Even in a vast country like America, God cannot find a true son or daughter whose mind and body are truly united. God cannot find the husband and wife who are united according to the original standard that God has desired since before the fall. In every family, parents and children are fighting. The decline of religions had led to a world of selfish individualism in which everyone is divided. Without a clear vertical standard, the concept of male and female are hazy. That is why, along with free sex, we see so much sexual confusion in the last days. It is neither this or that, neither man or no woman. The devil and evil spirit cause the devastation, leading people into chaos. Since the human fall took place at the completion level of the growth stage, the completion stage remains unfulfilled. The period of that stage is 7 years. We are indemnified this with the 7-year course. The 7-year course is that Christians call the 7 years of the Great Tribulation. The Great Tribulation is when a family which is in domain of the fall receives persecution order to be restored and rise up to become a family that has nothing to do with the dominion of the fall. It is the Great Tribulation because the families receiving persecution and hardship are the families with whom God longed to dwell. When Adam and Eve fell in the period of indirect dominion, Satan invaded the domain that has been reserved for human beings and came to dominate the entire realm of indirect dominion. to restore this, the 7-year Great Tribulation is not a time of suffering for those who deserve to suffer. Rather, it is the time when suffering comes to people who do not deserve it. In the free world today, many people are unwilling to marry. They live together without a legal marriage, jumping from one relation to another. It seems like everyone is perishing, but through it, God has strategy to save them all. This trend somehow makes sense if you look at it from God's perspective and God's view. Our spirit and body is supposed to become one centered on true love, not on false love. Therefore, as people live together who have not found the original true love, they will continue to be restless with spirit and body divided. Once they pass through that stage, after a while, they will earn for the marriage blessing, the blessing that only heaven can give. So powerful quotes for today. If you have difficulties today, please watch on my time this video, share this video as we and this billion happy life subscribers marathon. Contact me for consultation, cooperation, and become member of this Heavenly Parents Holy Community. And see you tomorrow with more powerful quotes. All the best. Bye bye. Yours, Coach Nikolai Serval.